Welcome. You are looking at the register module of InfoTouch Storekeeper POS. It's a touchscreen point of sale, and in this case, specifically organized for a gift store or for a general merchandise type of operation, of which gift stores are probably about one of the most common. So what we have here is a system that allows people to easily ring up items using scanners, as well as using descriptive touch buttons, and quickly cash out customers and take care of inventory. I'm looking here at my initial entry screen on the gift store, and one of the things you'll notice immediately is that there's a numeric keypad on the screen. With Storekeeper POS, there is never a need for a keyboard at the point of sale. So if I'm employee number 2, I'll just go ahead and type that in. Turns out that number 2 here has a password, and I can type on my physical keyboard, which I'm about to do, or I can use the on-screen keyboard. In either way works just fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4 is our password, and Mary Jones has not actually punched the clock today, so we're going to make her go ahead and sign in so she can go ahead and use the register. Okay, if I'm in retail, and here I am in a gift store, the thing I want to do most frequently is just scan items. I literally have to hit no buttons in order to do that. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate that. I'm going to scan item number 500. And it rings right up. No touching of buttons necessary. Here's another item. All right. No, that item's not there. Let's try it again. There we go. And we've got our gift with our golf club containers. Okay, so we do have an inventory system here that actually does require us to have real items in our inventory that match what we ring up. And so we can do that in a variety of ways. Best way is scanning. Another option is to touch a button. Let's say I get to an item and I can see the number on it, but the barcode scanner is not able to pick it up. So just by typing on the keyboard here, we can go ahead and add that item to the sale manually. Okay, that's great, but honestly, most keyboard-based systems do that very well too. What we do that's different is we also allow you to ring up items by description. So let's say I get to a Car and Driver magazine and somebody's managed to actually rip off the entire barcode label. So I have no idea what item number it is, and with our software you don't need to, because I can ring it up by description. Newspapers and magazines, Car and Driver, the item rings up with the same inventory control as if we had scanned it. Now different items and departments can be set up differently. So for example, if I'm in my candy and snacks department, here's all my Coca-Cola items. Actually, I'm interested in Altoids. I like cinnamon. Again, just touching a few simple buttons, the item rings up with the same inventory control as if we had scanned it. And because we actually are doing that, we can use categories that make sense to normal human beings who walk into a store to figure out exactly what's in stock or what's the pricing. So for example, I'm looking for a bracelet for my wife. I hit inventory lookup. Jewelry, bracelets. Here's all the bracelets in the store, the real-time quantity on hand, the location within the store, the current price, and an indicator of whether the item is on sale or not. I can actually scroll through multiple screens if I need to, and ring one up right here from the lookup screen. So now we have demonstrated that we can use scanning, manual entry of numbers, touching of buttons to ring up items, and actually using those same buttons to look up what's in stock, check on prices, and optionally add them right to the sale. When it comes time to finish the sale, the software supports a wide variety of tenders. It comes out of the box ready to work with credit cards, debit cards, gift cards. You can also optionally take checks and verify them if you want. A full accounts receivable system is built right into the software. And then lastly, we certainly are always happy to take cash. And if I do that, you'll notice that there's some buttons here that come up that correspond to the total of the sale. So this customer is purchasing $51.81. Well, they might give me $52 or $55. Let's say they do. And we make it very easy for you to take that tender and finish the sale. By the time the screen cleared, inventory had already been updated. The software supports up to 60 registers per location. That's 60 registers per location. So a pretty large gift store there if you can find one that size. All right, well, let's take a look at a few other features of the software. One of the things that we do support is the ability to have a frequent shopper type program. Maybe you could do special discounts to senior citizens or just people come in your store a lot. So let's bring up a few items. Let's go for a car and driver again, and maybe this time we'll sell one of those golf club containers. And now I'm going to link the sale to the customer. Now, you'll notice the total right now is $15.99. Let's go ahead and find a customer. And we can look up existing customers by a wide variety of methods, including their phone. We could actually create a new customer right on the fly for this transaction. In this case, let's go ahead and look them up by their last name. So we'll take Mary Smith here. We'll notice some information about her, including her address and her email, and, well, we haven't entered her phone yet. And remember that $15.99? It just dropped to $8.40. Why? Because Mary is part of our frequent shopper program. Now, we didn't have to do anything. All we had to do is bring up the items, and at any point during the sale, could have been at the beginning, the middle, or the end, link the sale to Mary, and she automatically gets her correct price. While Mary's there, by the way, we could take a look at things like her recent history. She hasn't been doing much with us lately, but we're going to give her a special price anyhow. And in fact, one of the other things that you can do is unlink the sale to the customer. So let's say we made a mistake and this really wasn't supposed to be Mary Smith. I was supposed to bring up Mary Jones. I can touch the line with the customer name and hit void customer, and notice the pricing instantly reverts back to standard retail price. So you cannot fool the system in terms of how you actually go ahead and deal with the fact that you're going to only give special pricing to your good customers. Let's go ahead and pay for that sale with a check. Defaults to the exact amount for checks and credit cards and other types of tenders besides cash. And we've just completed another sale. So it's very simple, it's very easy to use, and yet strong inventory control, special customer pricing, customer sales history available right at the register. We can even do email and mail campaigns to your customers based on their sales history. Okay, let's demonstrate one other function, the ability to suspend and recall a transaction. So let's say a customer comes in and they're going to buy something, which we just scan. They're going to buy this particular card, and they go and reach into their checkbook, into their jacket for their checkbook, and they can't find the checkbook. Oops, I left it out in the car. Well, hang on just a second. I'll go right back and get it. Now, with one item, it's not a big deal. We could just clear the sale and start again. But if we'd rang up 20 or 30 items, that would be sort of unfortunate. So what we can do here is actually suspend the sale. And because it's not linked to a customer, it's going to ask me for the name of somebody, some way to identify this person. So when they come back in the door, we've just suspended that sale to somebody named Doug. Now Doug comes back with his checkbook. By the way, the system supports any number of suspended sales. They can hang around forever. There are different varieties of suspended sales, like layaways, which have required deposits, special orders, which have optional deposits, quotes, which give you pricing that's guaranteed for a particular period of time, and after that, you're back to regular pricing, and appointments as well for folks in, say, like salons and in pet stores. So software is very comprehensive. So Doug has come back in. He's got his checkbook now. He's ready to pay. We can look him up by his name or the date. Let's go ahead and put in a D, and here's one for Dave, and here's one for Doug. So we'll take the one for Doug. Doug's got his checkbook now, and he's going to pay for it. And again, we've completed another transaction. So very full function POS functionality, yet very easy to use as well. Finally, let's demonstrate how we do our balancing the cash drawer at the end of the shift. So normally when a clerk is done with his time for the day, or her time for the day as the case may be, we want to make sure that the money is properly accounted for and going to the bank and not into that person's pocket. So we do go through a function called shift closeout that allows you to go ahead and count up the money in your drawer very easily. Now, if you look at the screen here, you'll notice there's a bunch of tenders in white, optional tenders like Visa and MasterCard, American Express and Discover, customer charge. What we've done is we've set this up in advance to say, you know what, if somebody pays with a Visa card, we know we're getting the money. We don't have to have this person we're paying hourly count up slips that we're going to get paid for electronically. On the other hand, we very much want them to count up the cash and the checks because that goes directly to our bank account. So let's touch cash. And here what we do is we allow you to go ahead and simply put in the number of things. So I have two $50 bills, $4, 17 quarters, 2 rolls of nickels, and you'll notice the total is updated automatically as we count up what we have in our drawer. For checks, well, it's a little different. We don't have predefined amounts, but we'll use the numeric keypad here as kind of a calculator. So the first check was for $12.23. You notice, by the way, the 2 after the check, that indicates that we've taken 2 checks on this shift. So let's go ahead and put in another one, $16.98. Touch OK when finished, and we're ready to go. Well, we put in a bunch of random numbers, and lo and behold, we're not in balance. So the software is saying, hey, would you like to try and do a better job here? Let's say the person who's at the drawer looks and finds under the till a $20 bill that they did not see before. No problem. We'll just go back to cash. We remember everything you put in before. We'll just add that $20 bill, and we're good to go. Of course, we're still out of balance, but we've done as good a job as we can. And at this point, we're going to print a report, which can either go to your receipt printer or to your default Windows printer, which in my case happens to create PDF files. So here's that report. It's coming up in just a second. So we started with $100. We took in 54. We counted up 132, so we're actually short $21, and we're also a little bit short on our checks. So shift is over, cash is accounted for, and we're ready to go on to the next shift.